This is going to be a tough one for Spieth, although I'm not going to put anything past him at the moment just because he's running hot, especially with the irons. Like, it's weird to see that the irons are back. People always forget that when he was awesome, like, he was driving the ball really well. He cannot drive the ball anymore. And if you're going to be spraying it left and then spraying it right at a course that's daunting in terms of length, it's just at Pebble, you can get away with it because your approaches are still 130 yards. Like, you can still get those to land softly on the greens, regardless of where you're at. When you're like 180 out, then you're going to start running it and hopping it off the green. Then you need to get it up and down every single time. And just, that's what we're talking about when distance matters at a place like this. And it's not like he's a bomber. If he was Bryson and he was missing every fairway, but he was only 100 yards from the hole, that would be one thing. When you're missing every fairway and you're 200 yards from the hole, that really ratchets up the difficulty.
And again, if you watched him on Sunday, the drives he was spraying, like way right, were way right. I mean, they were not hitting the first cut or like landing on the right side of the fairway and rolling into the rough. They were landing in the rough and bouncing further right. And with this Kikuyu rough, the ball doesn't bounce or roll a ton. Like, so you're going to lose even more distance. If you're spraying it here, you're going to lose even more because it's just not going to keep bouncing and rolling and cart path and luck box Spieth what he does. You know, like, it's just not going to happen. So I'm not interested.
I don't think that many are going to be interested in Spieth this week, to be perfectly honest with you. I guess it depends on how much of the public ends up playing. Like, he is a tough one to gauge actual ownership on. Like, looking, again, we're speaking on a Tuesday morning, so the ownerships haven't really developed yet. But just scanning through all of the 9K guys, he's by far the lowest owned projected of the 9K guys. But I bet you it's like we have him listed at sub 5% at the moment. I bet he comes in at like 7. And people will think it's like super sharp, but I think that you'd be better off. Like, Brooks is not projecting highly. For whatever reason, no one likes Brooks this week. I'll play Brooks. Give me some Brooks.
Yeah. I mean, again, that's what I'm saying to start it off. Like, if I had to pick right now, if you made me lock somebody in for getting ownership, I'd start Jon Rahm and Xander. I like starting like cash lineups with Xander as well if you're going to play cash. But at the end of the day, if you're playing in a big tournament, you know, I'm just going to look at the ownership numbers and say, okay, where do I have a lot of leverage? If Brooks is 5%, 7%, I'll be playing Brooks. If Morikawa is going to stay at 10%, I'll be playing Morikawa. You know, if Finau is going to go low, like, at the end of the day, that's kind of what I want. Is I just want a lot of leverage here because I think the difference between a lot of these guys is very minimal.